In this video, I will show how to use a button in JavaFX. I will just add a button to the window, and when clicking it, something is printed to the console. Very simple. I have already set up a module for this, and to minimize the bloat over here, I will change from project view to project files view. First, I create a new class. I will call this run app. That's a good name. And I need to extend application and override the start method. Good. Let me start with a button. The constructor takes a string argument, which is the text to be shown on the button. I also need to import the button class, and as usual I have to be careful to import the JavaFX button, not the AWT button. Then I need a pane to put my button into. This time I will create a VBox. This is a pane with a predefined layout. It's short for vertical box, I assume. There's also an H-box for horizontal. With the VBox, new UI elements added to the box will be placed below the previous ones. I will just have the button, so it's not super important in this case, but just to show you different things. Then a scene containing my pane, adding the scene to the stage, setting the dimensions of the stage, and finally showing the stage. And let's run it. I get my window with the button, and I can click the button, but nothing happens, which I guess should surprise no one. I have not defined any behavior for this button, so let's fix that. I will first declare a method I want to be called when clicking the button. The behavior will just be to print something to the console. Part of the signature of the method is important to be used in the way that I want to, otherwise my button cannot activate it. But you can basically create any kind of signature, I guess. I'll just show you this one approach. The access modifier is not super important. I will just make it private. I have to declare it static in this case because it will be called from the static main method. Going forward, when growing your applications larger, most methods will belong to an instance of an object and therefore not be static. Probably, I assume. And then the important part in this particular case. The return type must be void. I give the method a name. The parameter list must be a single parameter of type action event. Again, making sure to import the JavaFX action event class and not the one from AWT. And then the method body printing something out. Now the next part, making the button call this method. There are several ways to express the same thing. I will actually skip over some of the older approaches, which includes creating a new class, implementing an event handler interface, or the next step would be to create an anonymous class here, but that's old. In modern Java, you can use a lambda expression like this. The left side is the argument given by the button, the event that happened. We actually rarely care about it. And the right side of the arrow is sort of the method body, what should happen. I will just pass the event argument to my handle click method, like this. And that works. That's fine, you can keep it like this. But the next step is to use a method reference instead. I like these. It looks like this. First, the class name, where the method is defined, so that's my run app, like this. Then colon, and then a method from the class. Again, that's my handle click. Now this says, when clicking this button, call this method, declared in this class, basically. I usually go with this last approach here, it's just simpler to me, but there are cases where the lambda expression is better. If the method is not static, then I need to use an object variable instead of the run app. You will see this in later videos. And now let's run it again, and observe that when I click the button, something is printed to the console. Neat. And that's it. Thanks for watching.